welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I am working on Iron Crafter Challenge. This is a monthly challenge that I host over on my Facebook community group. That will be linked down below if you are interested in joining. Just click the join group and answer those questions. If you don't answer the questions, it's an automatic decline. So please, please, please answer those questions for me, and I will make sure that you get added to my group. So this challenge is, as I said, a monthly challenge, and this is what we do. Each month I give you what we had been calling a mystery item to create a layout. Now, when I was building the list for 2025, I had a request to do a recipe challenge, which we did in January. This month, we're going to go back to the single ingredient, and this month's ingredient is your oldest paper. Now, I know that can be a hard thing to find, or even to know what is exactly your oldest paper. And, well, at least for me, I'm speaking from my own personal stash, which is relatively large. I know that I have some super old papers in my stash, and I knew that some of these super old papers are from Sassafras Lass, which is a company that is not in business anymore. And I knew that I had this collection. It is not dated. Some of the other collections that I still have, I only have partial collections at this point, are dated. And so I'm going to assume that these prints are 2010, maybe 2009. So, because they're not dated. I'm pretty sure that this piece here doesn't actually go with this collection. Same with these foldies. Around the same time frame. Well, this one says 2011 on the side, so maybe this part is newer than this, but this one is absolutely not dated at all. And I'm going to use this side with all that beautiful layering that is already on there. I do have some other papers. This is from the collection, and I thought I might use some of these scraps for something. Same with this. It's part of the collection. As you can see, it's got some of the same stuff in it. It's a beautiful collection. Like I said, this is not from the same collection, but my oldest paper is here. And then I have some scraps and some stickers from this collection, and that is what I've got. I may pull in a few other things. We'll see. Like, I have this flower sitting here, and that one too, that might go with this. These are from a previous layout. It's from my Scraplift Crafternoon for February 9th. So you'll see that if you want to watch that video, it's already there, and I used a whole bunch of these flowers on it. But I'm going to pause. We're going to get started, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to clear my space first. I don't end up using the Mente cut-apart fussy cutting book thingy. I end up having enough embellishments and things with the rest of the collection that I pulled. Now, I did mention that I'm combining two of the Sassafras Lass collections, and I just want to say that this paper is beautiful as it is, and you really wouldn't have to do much of anything with it. Just stick a photo and a title and put some journaling on it, and really this is a pre-made page for you. But you know me, I like layers, so I'm going to add some more layers here, starting with cutting apart that branding strip. I always loved their branding strips because they were just so pretty and so easy to use in a layout that I just adored them. And I think I saved every single one that I have not used. And if I recall correctly, every collection had these beautifully shaped and colored borders that you could use. You can see that this piece of paper that I'm positive does not go with this collection has a beautiful green scalloped border down there too, and I'm leaving part of it on. And I'm going to scuff up the edges as I layer here. The photo, I don't think I mentioned, is a photo of me when I was about 7 with my grandparents in front of their bright orange house. And yes, it was really bright orange. So, fun facts, my grandfather worked on base, which was near where we lived. They lived in Crocker, Missouri, and the base is Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, so it's about 30 minutes or so away. And he worked on base as a plumber. I'm not really sure what all he did because, as a kid, I just knew that he was a plumber or worked for the plumbing department or something. I think we call that DPW today. But anyway, he worked there, and a lot of times when the military base was throwing away stuff like paints, my grandpa would be able to take it home. You'll have to excuse me as I pause for a minute. I've got kitty cats arguing. So, long story short, he would bring home the paints that the military base would throw away, and in this instance, it was orange, and he used it to paint their house. And the house was bright orange like that for many years. It is currently blue, I think. And when I was little, it was white, like littler than this. I think that's a relatively new paint job there, and I don't recall if it was painted back white after the orange or if they went from orange to blue. Anyway, just one of the ways that they kept the upkeep on their house, just using paints that were given to them. My grandmother is actually still alive. My grandpa is no longer alive. So these foldies are kind of cool little embellishments, and I'm going to try to make them work with this layout. And try not to cover up too much of the pre-printed stuff, but of course I am going to a little bit. So you're going to get some peeking of the pre-printed stuff out from underneath the foldies, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut some of this daisy trim. I really wanted to use this trim. This was an impulse buy at Joann's when I was hanging out with some friends one day. And I even shared it with some of the friends because what am I going to do with an entire roll of trim? I'll never use it all. So my goal was to use up as many of the stickers on these sheets as I could. I'm not really into flat dimensional stickers anymore, or non-dimensional stickers anymore, and so I like to use them to layer, and sometimes I will just use my powder tool, take the sticky off the back of them and pop them up with foam adhesive. And I'm going to do a little bit of that here, but not a whole lot. The foldies are going to definitely provide some of the dimension, as does my daisy trim. I really don't want to cover up too much of those pre-planned areas, but adding stuff means that I'm really going to do that. Now, one of the last things I grab is a set of alphas, because I remembered that I didn't grab stuff for a title before I started recording, but I'm going to grab some Simple Stories Color Vibe wood grain foam letters here in a minute, and I'm going to use those as my title. So I titled this layout Just Us. I am the oldest grandchild out of a whole bunch of us. I think there's 26 grandchildren. There may be more. That's not including the great-grandchildren. I have 5 of the great-grandchildren. My brother has 5 great-grandchildren. So there's a lot of those as well. And, as the grandchildren have all started having or have had families themselves, there's a whole passel of great-grandchildren on my maternal side. But I'm the oldest grandchild on my maternal side. You probably have heard me say before, I do have an older sibling, a sister, and she's the one that introduced me to scrapbooking. Hi, Serenity. But she is not from my maternal side. We share a biological father, not mothers. So, and I don't know where she stands in the scheme of thing as being eldest or what have you. So I am titling this Just Us, as I said. I had to move that arrow because I wanted to leave space for the title. I wanted to get that on here, and I'm gonna go ahead and stick that arrow back down on the other side of us, just kind of drawing attention to the photo. And the reason why it is so important for me to tell the story about it, me being the oldest grandchild, I believe this picture was taken during a time when my parents had divorced and we were living with my grandparents. All right, I got this layout completely done. I'm pretty happy with it. It's really simple. There are a lot of layers on it. It's kind of my trademark, but I did get quite a bit of stuff on here. I did off camera do some pen outlining or stitching, whichever way you want to call it, around some of these flat embellishments, just to provide a little bit of texture, and was also able to get a little bit of this daisy trim that I purchased at Joann's recently on here. It's really pretty, and I like to play with old vintage looking trims like this on my pages sometimes. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe. If you are new here, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel, and if you would also like to join my Facebook community group, please click that link down below, answer the membership questions, and I'll click approve. Also, there is a playlist for the YouTubers that are participating in this hop, but as always, I list my Instagram creators first. I would love it if you would give all of them some love. Check out to see what they are doing, which piece of paper in their stash is their oldest, and just see what they make with that. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye.